Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're going to be talking about something that I've seen floating around on a lot of media outlets, particularly because of the controversial nature of this. This is coming from the one and only President Trump, of course, which has me on here doing an abbreviated broadcast on a Sunday. Julio, you say you can't join. What do you mean you can't join? Hang on, let me make sure I got everything right here. Real quick, I haven't changed anything to prevent you from joining, so I'm going to look at the settings. What does it say? I don't have my gun right. I don't have gun rights, but my friends do. Okay, we're doing an impromptu live. This is obviously a Sunday, so it's not the weekday. But I just want to make sure I didn't do anything wrong to prevent folks from coming on, because I got one guest saying that they cannot come on the live stream. Let me know if you guys are having any trouble with the box. We'll give that a moment for my YouTube audience. Hang on, but I do want to, because I didn't change any settings. So what the hell is going on? I'm trying to figure this out. I may have to restart the live here. I don't see any way to turn it on or off. Okay, so the box is working. Before we get to the box, what we're gonna do is go ahead and preface the program, and that is President Trump has been he's been courting the black vote, courting the African American vote. And by the way, that is a noteworthy outreach that he's doing. I don't know why. Hang on, let me see something here. Julio, if you got issues on your side, I don't know what's going on, because let me see here. Just wanted to test out the live stream. Trig Wiggy, good afternoon. Trig Wiggy, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. What we're going to be, I'll just go straight to the actual topic, since we started out with a bit of a problem. Trump is claiming that he's done more for African Americans since Abraham Lincoln. That's what we're on here for today, because I found it kind of odd. I'm going to go ahead and admit ignorance, because I don't have an answer for that. I'm not able to defend them. So I want to find out from you guys, from the folks. Trig, do you see Trump as being the most generous in favor of African Americans since Abraham Lincoln? Do you believe what he's saying is accurate?
No.
Why do you say no?
The only thing that he did was gave tax cuts to the richest of the rich, and us peons.
Peons, wow.
We only got a couple grand as opposed to thousands of dollars that he gave to his cronies.
So why do you think he's saying it? And by the way, he stated it in front of an all-black audience, and they gave him a fairly strong applause. So apparently there's a lot of black folks that agree with him, though.
Because black folks are so gullible that we'll believe anything, anytime, anywhere, unless it hits us in the face and drags us through the mud. We won't believe it. But if we sit here and elect Trump, we are in trouble.
Wait. If we elected Trump before, and many would say the country did fairly well, what makes you say if we elect Trump, we're in trouble?
Because that Project 25 that people are saying, oh no, that's not his idea. Trust me, that's all him. That's all him. And we gonna sit here and catch most of the backlash from it.
Wow.
You know, if it's not gonna be us black folks, it's gonna be women. It's gonna be the LGBTQ, all of that. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess because you don't care about none of us.
So you believe that Trump is actually harmful to the black community?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, we
But
like I said, we had them for 4 years. Whether it's some forms of criminal justice reform, whether it is allocating money to HBCUs, a strong economy, many would say that while Trump was in office, blacks did better.
I don't believe that one day. You know what I work? I worked every day while he was in office. And I wish people would constantly remember the last 2 years of his presidency. He was a disaster. I wish people would start remembering that he told people to drink bleach.
Did he? Wait.
I
Did
wish
he really say that though? I mean, is that what?
he did. Tim, you know he did. You know he did. Stick an infrared light up under your body, and you will sit here and COVID will go away. Come on, man.
I'm
You
under
know
the
it's true.
I'm under the impression. I'm under the impression that a lot of his detractors kind of took that one out of context. You actually believe President Trump, an accomplished businessman, would recommend that individuals, human beings, drink bleach?
Tim, let me tell you this. You gotta go and watch the whole when he was talking at the podium and the doctors were sitting down, and when he said maybe if we drink bleach it'll go away.
I don't
And,
know.
wait a minute, and then the doctor who he was looking at, she just dropped her head like, I can't believe he said this on national TV.
I know he's been accused of saying it. I don't know if I'm 100% certain the man said drink bleach.
Look, go back, you got YouTube, go on YouTube and ask YouTube if Trump said drink bleach.
You sure he didn't say something that may have been interpreted?
Look, go, you know what, see, this is what we're going to have to do for us black folks.
All right, I'm listening.
We're going to have to start repeating what he said more than 3 or 4 times for us to get it through our head. Because apparently we don't get it. We don't get it.
Well, it's gonna, but hold on, Trig. It's gonna be difficult to get the notion that a sitting president would suggest somebody drink bleach. You honestly believe he said that?
You know what? And I honestly believe that, he was talking about, Hannibal Lecter was a good guy. He was a good guy.
He does say that, but I don't. But he might be talking about Anthony.
Look, Hannibal Lecter was a good guy. And, if I was on a battery and I was on a boat and I stepped in the water and the shark was coming he said all of that.
Okay, Trig.
I do believe that.
Okay, I'm going to have to move it on. But before I do, I have brought up a clip that alleges this may be what you're talking about. I don't know about him talking about drinking bleach, but let's hear the clip. Let's hear the clip, and we'll see what comes across.
Or just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But
Okay, so the word bleach never came out of his mouth, but he is talking about injecting disinfectant, which does sound pretty wild. So I'll give you half. I'll say you're half right.
Okay, so you gave me half points on me.
He didn't say bleach.
Okay, wait.
Two things.
I'll concede that he said disinfectant instead of bleach.
And he didn't say drink. He said inject.
But even if you tell me to put it in a syringe and stick pine saw in my body, You done lost your mind.
All right, Trig, I'll leave it at that.
You know what I'm saying? You done lost your mind, Tim. Come on. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I'm cool with the fact because I listen to you every day.
Thank you.
I listen to you every day. I don't go to the YouTube part, but when TikTok come at 1 o'clock, and I know that you're on the same time zone because we both in Chicago, I say, you know what? Let me listen to this.
I do appreciate that.
I am definitely like, and you know what? And to be honest with you, you do give people a fair shake.
That's the goal here. So I'm going to go to the other side of you now. I'm going to go looking for the right. I appreciate you coming on, though, Trick. Thank you for the support. Come on back anytime.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Anytime. All right. So moving the program in. So just to clarify, he didn't say drink bleach. I think that's confirmed now because that is what you often hear from critics of Trump. He never used the words drink or bleach. So anybody saying he said drink bleach, that is false. But nevertheless, he did, as my last caller said, injecting Pine Sol in your arm. I don't know how that's any better. But he did say inject disinfectant. So I think to some degree the liberals may be creating something that's flamboyant when in reality the truth sounds pretty bad. I don't think the idea of injecting disinfectant in you sounds any better than drinking bleach, but he didn't say drinking bleach. So moving the program on, we're asking that question. President Trump stated that he has done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to go ahead and plead ignorance on this. I can't think of anything that would give him this type of credit, but I want to give you folks a chance to maybe correct the host, correct other viewers, and perhaps teach us all something. I want to know, what has President Trump perhaps did, instituted, legislated through executive action, whatever the case may be, for blacks more than, other than Abraham Lincoln. And I'll give you a few snippets of other presidents in history. We're going to start out, obviously, with the 36th Commander-in-Chief being Lyndon B. Johnson. Thank you for the hat and mustache, DJ Julio. Yeah, appreciate that. We know Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th president of the nation, is responsible for both the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. Did Trump perhaps do something that supersedes that? We'll talk about it. Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th president of the United States, he's responsible for creating, you hear Trump talk about this often, the Department of Justice, responsible for creating the Department of Justice and letting them go against the Ku Klux Klan and also prosecute other racial crimes. That came by way of Ulysses S. Grant. He was the 18th president, and from his presidency on, the KKK were no longer guaranteed they would not be prosecuted for their crimes. That came from Ulysses S. Grant. Now, maybe that's milder. Maybe Trump has done more than held the KKK accountable. So we'll continue on. Harry Truman, the 33rd president of this great nation, desegregated the military. We'll let you guys figure out how you want to view that. Is that something that's fairly mild? Maybe Trump accomplished more than that as well. And last but not least, Barack Hussein Obama. We'll talk about the Universal Care Act. Obviously, a hell of a lot of Americans, including African Americans, now have health care that did not before Barack Obama. Now, Trump maybe has also had more accomplishments and superseded Obamacare and things of that like. So we're going to talk about all of that. We want to know Trump stating that he's done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln. Want to get your take on it. We'll continue the program on with Maryland in U.S. I think that says good afternoon, Maryland. Welcome to the program. It is scary if this guy really believes this crap. Well, he does believe it, I believe. Does that say Maryland?
Yeah, Merlin.
Merlin.
It's fine.
Okay, so Trump stating he's done more for African Americans since Abraham Lincoln. You think he is correct about that? Think there's some validity to it?
I mean, he always talks in hyperbole. I wouldn't. You'd have to quantify if he's done more, you know. But he did do quite a bit. He did have good jobs programs. He solidified HBCU funding, made it easier and simpler for the universities long term, where they only had to go 10 years when they asked for funding instead of every year, which is kind of annoying. So there's been things that he's done.
Well, and I'm not going to pretend like Trump hasn't done things that the black community would benefit from, but why would he bring up and compare himself to Abraham Lincoln?
I think that's political hyperbole, honestly.
So you do believe it's not, so in other words, it's not true, it's just a huge exaggeration.
It's a claim that politicians make in fairness. I think it's a claim that politicians make in fairness to show that they're advocating for a group. They say, I've done more than anyone else for this group. I've done more than anything else for that group. He has done a lot, but you'd have to quantify if it's more than everybody. So that's just the reality of life. Politicians say these things.
Okay, but wasn't he the guy that wasn't a typical politician? You're making him sound real typical now.
He was still running for an office. He was still talking politically. I mean, yes, I agree with you. He's not the typical politician. He's like, I call him a third party, really. He basically came in and ransacked the Republican Party, pushed him out of the way. They didn't really support him. So, he's really a third party candidate that just took over an existing party, really.
Yeah. So in the comments, one of my viewers, Matt Russell, says this guy's right, referring to you there, Marlon. It says, listen up, Trump's always exaggerating. He knows how to get publicity. Do you believe what he's doing is a publicity stunt?
I wouldn't say a publicity stunt, but I mean, you want to draw attention. If you're a leader, I think he goes a little too far with the hyperbole. 100% he goes too far with the hyperbole. He's actually doing a lot better this go around because he's dialed that shit back, because probably somebody slapped him in the back of the head and said, hey, dude, stop talking so far out there. Bring it down to reality a little bit.
So would this qualify?
The biggest problem.
So him saying he's done more for blacks since Abraham Lincoln, would this qualify as being so far out there as you stated?
Since Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look. You got to look what Congress did through the first part of the 1900s. I mean, FDR. Let's look at FDR. Why did the black community start voting for a Democrat? Because FDR put a shitload of people to work, right? So FDR did a crap ton, obviously more than anyone else, not just for the black community, but for the whole damn country, putting people to work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's kind of discounting that. I guess he's kind of zooming in on the specifics of the things that he
What
did.
about Lyndon B. Johnson giving African Americans civil rights and the right to vote?
Oh, I don't think that was Johnson. That was the Congress.
No, well, it's signed by the president, though. At the end of the day, just like the HBCUs that Trump takes credit for, that's allocated by Congress. But he signs it at the end.
Well, what I'm saying with the HBCUs is he changed the procedure. He didn't do anything like control funding. Obviously, Congress controls the purse, right?
Right.
Congress controls the money. What he did was say, hey, you don't have to come back to me every damn year asking for this same thing. In other words,
yeah, but he can, but he still has to get approval from Congress. You can't do that via executive action.
Right, but the money was already allocated, and
but
the
point I'm making is he cannot do it unilaterally. He has to do it by Congress, just like you mentioned with Lyndon B. Johnson. Without Congress, if Congress disagreed, he couldn't do it.
Okay, so Okay, let me tell you what I'm saying. Yes, I agree with you 100%. But if Congress funds, say, 5 years worth of a grant, right?
Mm-hmm.
The administration of how that's doled out is in the executive branch. So the executive branch can say, we're going to give out 5-year grants, or we're going to give out 1-year grants and make people come back over and over. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a procedural choice by the executive branch, and he streamlined that.
So
That's where he helped.
So do you see that as superseding Lyndon B. Johnson giving African Americans civil rights?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
Oh, hell no.
So
The
that
Civil Rights Act was paramount in our history.
Okay.
Civil Rights Act was paramount in our history. It codified, to me, the Civil Rights Act was redundant, but it did codify the reality of you're not going to say these people don't have those rights. Because in all reality, the Constitution gives every American citizen those rights already. With the history, it needed to be codified again. It's kind of like double dipping.
well, the problem is the Constitution was written and they said all men were created equal, and then they passed a law to say that black people were only considered as 3/5 of a man, so we didn't qualify for the privileges of it.
Well, yes, they said it was. Then they said free men were
Yeah,
you know.
they just came up with backdoor ways of continue. I mean, to some degree, even after the Civil Rights Act, you still had black people suing for discrimination and all of this shit, to the point they had to have affirmative actions because they were still coming up with backdoor ways of doing it.
And that's why I agree with the Civil Rights Act needed to be done at that time in history. It needed to be done because of that. It needed to have a current, valid law that allowed people to backlash against discrimination. We needed it at the time.
Well, let me present this to you because this came to me from YouTube. The last black price of chicken. You should be grateful. How do you think an African American should view it?
Racist remark like you brought down chicken, so you should be grateful as a black man.
Yeah.
Well, hell, I'm a white man. I'm glad if chicken goes down myself. So that's kind of an odd comment by anybody, in my opinion.
I kind of viewed it the same. I did hear snippets of racism in there myself, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one.
That'd be like, hey, watermelon and chicken went down. Y'all black people should be grateful. That's some sus shit right there.
Yeah.
Like that's not appropriate.
All right, I like to hear from the guests. I'd rather hear from you folks. All right, I got to move it on to Maryland.
I got one more thing for you.
Sure.
I got one more thing for you.
Sure.
About the previous comment. I would like to talk about the bleach situation, and I'd like to bring it in perspective.
Real quick, go ahead.
Real quickly. So, how many people do you think get injected with bleach every day in the United States?
I would get by medical professionals.
By medical professionals.
I'm going to guess 0.
Hundreds of thousands.
For what
So
treatment?
let me give you the background. Let me give you the background on chemo treatment. Chemotherapy is bleach. During World War II, mustard gas was developed. The origins of chemotherapy treatment go all the way back to mustard gas. And mustard gas is chlorine.
Okay.
And that's a fact. You can look it up on...
You do know what the purpose of chemotherapy is, don't you?
Yeah, it's to kill those cancer cells I had in me.
Right.
That shit.
So why would you try to treat cancer in a virus the same way? I get your point. I've never heard this before, but I don't know where the recommendation of disinfectant would come from.
The bleach is used, a form of bleach, chlorine, is used in cancer treatment. So the idea of a disinfectant being injected into the body in a controlled environment in proper dosages by medical personnel is long-standing medicine. So I'll just leave you with that thought. And if anyone disagrees with me, I encourage you to look up cancer.org or the American Cancer Society, and you will see that current chemotherapy treatments come from chlorine gas from war.
All right. I definitely will look it up. I encourage the audience to look at it as well. All right, Marilyn. Appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate you, bro.
Anytime. Come on back through. Look, and by the way, folks, when we say the way I didn't state this, but the program is an uncensored free speech format. That's the way we run it. That's the way we always have run it. And that is the way it will be operated till the beginning of time. Fact is, the program is always shall remain MAGA friendly in its entirety. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. MAGA are my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. You don't have to agree with anyone in the comment section. You don't have to agree with the host. It's all about free speech. By the way, tap the screen to my TikTokers. Get the likes on up to about 15,000. So a smaller audience here this Sunday afternoon, but tap the screen, get the likes up to about 15,000. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button. I think the top three dots at the top of your screen here will get the likes up. Get them up to about 20. Looking in the comments, Mario says, I like most of Trump's politics, but I do think he says racist things when talking about migrants. I don't think that's an unreasonable comment. I can see why many Americans would like Trump's policies, or you says politics, but saying you like Trump's politics, but you do think he says a lot of racist things when talking about migrants. I don't think that is totally unreasonable. Not a cult of personality. Tim, you wouldn't even have a show if you didn't put all your focus on Trump. I completely disagree with you, but right now, Trump is the most dominant figure in politics. Without Trump, there's plenty of anti-abortion laws, anti-Second Amendment laws, issues with the LGBT community. There's a hell of a lot to still discuss. The difference is Trump keeps interjecting himself in politics in terms of stating controversial things. Like what we're talking about today. Nobody made him say this. He decided to say, I've done more for blacks since Abraham Lincoln. So he gets talked about. I think that's kind of what he wants, though, don't you think? Trump 2024, years in prison. Damn. Put Trump in prison for 2,024 years. Come on now. Continuing on, Misty is here. Good afternoon, Misty. More for African Americans since Abraham Lincoln. Good afternoon, Misty. What say you?
Yeah, more for not written to people of color.
Yeah, that did
More
happen.
for wanting the Central Park Five.
Yeah,
Well, you know what he wanted, even though he didn't even check to see that those young teenagers were interrogated for 24 hours without any food or water and without their parents' knowledge. So they would have said anything to get out of there.
Yeah. So how do you respond to the fact that when he said he did more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln, he said it in front of a black audience that gave him a hellified amount of applause?
Can I ask you something? Did you look at that audience?
There was a lot of black folks in it. What about it?
There were a lot more white tea folks in there than there was.
Well, that's most of Trump's audiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of his audiences are going to. I mean, the panel looked like they had a few blacks up there, but I mean, anywhere Trump has a gathering or a rally, and I've been to a couple of them, yeah, the diversity is going to be overwhelmingly white. I mean, that's just what it is.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, though?
He appeals to their. Let's just say he made it okay to walk around without your sheet on.
Damn. Wow. So you think that Trump has kind of made it more comfortable to be intolerant out in the open?
I think so. Yes. I mean, you have the boys that show a lot of pride in themselves, marching right down the street, doing their Third Reich stuff, and.
So then I want to ask you this: if you want to suggest that Trump or the right has made folks more comfortable to be intolerant, how do you respond to the fact that on a lot of these college university campuses, they're saying some really anti-Jewish shit right out in the open? I mean, they're not even hiding it. So I mean, and they're not right wingers. You got to assume they're liberals, right?
I wouldn't assume that they're liberals. I think that they're looking at what's going on in the Middle East with different color glasses on, if you know what I mean. They don't know the politics of it. They don't know exactly what's going on. And they're only hearing people saying the G word when it comes to President Biden, not knowing that the other person wants to go in and just take Gaza off the map.
I don't know. I get them. I kind of get them on my show, Misty. Folks talking now about how much they support Palestine and up to Hamas. Some of them openly support Hamas as well. I don't. You don't think none of them are liberals?
I don't think that they might be liberals. Yes, I think there might be a good mix in there, but I also think that they're being fed with a spoon what other people want them to hear. And I don't think Democrats put their message out as clearly as they should.
Right.
I think that they're bad at messaging and showing all of the good stuff that they are doing, because they're doing a lot of good.
I mean, you got folks on the left calling Biden Genocide Joe. So, I mean, like I said, that's not the right.
Yeah, but you do know that Trump said that when he gets in office, he's just going to wipe Gaza off the face of the. He wants them gone. He doesn't care. So Joe is at least trying to get a two-state solution. I don't think that I'm not happy with that either, but I am happy with the other things that he's done. And speaking on stuff that I am not knowledgeable in, I don't know why the politics are the way they are over there. I don't.
Fair enough. So, but to bring it back full circle. And by the way, Steve, I certainly will acknowledge that. Thank you, Steve. We'll talk about it in a minute. Appreciate that incredibly generous super chat. So at the end of the day, you don't believe Trump when he says he's done more for African Americans than anybody since Abraham Lincoln.
He gave how much to the HBCUs? Tell me how much he gave.
It fluctuates all over the damn place. And by the way, let me just say this: the overwhelming majority of African Americans in this country has never utilized the services of an HBCU. I mean, I've never stepped foot inside of one of them, and I got 3 college degrees. I don't know why that keeps coming up in terms of black. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do that would encompass a lot more African Americans than donate money to HBCUs.
I personally don't agree with that, because I think educating young black people is very important to make sure that they have that good education. They have it I can't think of the name of the one that I wanted to bring up now. I lost my train of thought. But Trump said he gave all this money, but he didn't. It averaged out to maybe 750 something to each school, and Biden has given them each over $1 million each year.
Wow.
This is important things to know. Also, you have to think about the importance of HBCUs to. I work in. Are you familiar with Norfolk,
Virginia? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I've never been there. No. What about it?
This is a very diverse place to live. We have bases all around us: Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Just everybody is right here in one area, right?
Okay.
Well, not all of us are going to go to HBCUs. I didn't go to an HBCU. I went to Marshall University. Go Herd.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. If you really wanted to boast about educating the black community, I think trying to forgive student loans, which is something that myself included, far more of us are dealing with. Yeah, I think that would benefit African Americans significantly more than donating money to HBCUs.
Well, I did get my student loan forgiven. You have to apply for it. I also think that you're right, because there are predatory school loans out there that really grab people. And I think that there should be a law against that. I really do. But I'm looking at more things other than just that. We've got the infrastructure, which is, if people know about Norfolk, they know that we have a Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel that is the bane of everybody's existence. It is getting expansion due to the infrastructure bill. We are also getting buildings built. We're getting jobs created. These are things that
but Trump is gonna say that under his watch, far more jobs were created for people of color. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but he's certainly going to say it.
No, I think um, take my head meds. That's awesome. I wish I had them. That'd be great.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, um, the the thing that I think people don't look at is the bigger picture. Biden has done a lot of good for this country. He has. He's created more jobs. Our economy is doing better than anybody else's economy coming back from a pandemic. There are jobs out there that people don't want. We have a labor shortage now instead of a job shortage. These are things that people aren't looking at. And as someone who has to hire people, I'm a site director, so I have to hire people. Getting people to want to come to work
Yeah.
is hard. And that's the difference between before pandemic and after pandemic.
So at the end of the day, do you see the economy under Biden as being better than Trump? Because many would suggest that Trump's economy was much, much better.
Trump's economy might have been better because he cut our taxes for just a little while.
Yeah.
Just a little while. And we are still under Trump's tax thing, which is now not cut anymore, but it's still cut for the upper 1%. They don't have to pay the taxes.
But what about
we do.
inflation? People can barely afford to purchase a vehicle, purchase a home because the inflation rates are so bad. You don't see any of that under Biden being problematic?
That's corporate greed. And until we get that money out of the government, we need to work on that, fight for that, tell them to quit being greedy. People are making the upper people in like Walmart and Amazon, for instance, they're making millions upon millions. They're cleaning house. General Mills, they're not paying employees, but they are sure making record profits.
Wow.
And you can go look at that.
Yeah, I don't deny. I think everybody that wants to admit the truth will admit that some of this is indeed corporate greed and price gouging. But before I move it on from Misty, I want to ask you this because you mentioned we were for a short time talking about the issue in with Palestine and Gaza. One of my viewers, Mary, I don't even want to butcher the last name, but Mary she said, referring to you, Misty, she said Trump was going to wipe Gaza off the map. Trump said Hamas, not Gaza. So sick of these ignorant people spewing like they are in authority. The floor is yours, Misty.
Go look it up. Go look up what he said. It was not that. It wasn't. He refers to all Palestinian people as Hamas. He thinks they all are. He said wipe them clean.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I have not heard this to the point where I can get involved in the discussion, but I will say this. If you believe that Biden is going too far in defending Israel and leaving the Palestinians out to dry, so you want to elect Trump, I don't see how that's going to improve the situation at all. I don't see Trump showing Gaza or the Palestinians any more love than Biden. And so I think I'm going to lean in your direction on this because, Trump showing love to Gaza or the Palestinians, I just don't see it. I'll give you the last word, though.
Okay, I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Were we in a war or two when Trump was president?
Yeah.
Yes, we actually had boots on the ground.
Right.
Do we have boots on the ground now?
No.
No.
So what's your point?
I'm going to leave you with that. Somebody just said that Biden has got us into wars and there was peace with Trump. No, there wasn't.
They're blaming what they're doing is if Russia attacks the Ukraine, which has nothing to do with us, you're correct. We have no boots on the ground. They're blaming Biden for that, though. So that's where that's coming from. All right, Misty?
Russia wants Poland. He doesn't want Ukraine. He wants Poland. And the Ukraine is not enough for him. And if they think that that's any different, they're absolutely wrong. But I absolutely adore you, and you know that.
Wow. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Never told you anything less, have I?
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope my doors are always open to you, Misty. Come on back anytime.
Have a good day.
You too. So moving the program on, and I thank you for that, by the way. By the way, folks, tap the screen. get the likes of. This is a shorter live for a Sunday afternoon, but President Trump stated that he's done more for African Americans than any president since Abraham Lincoln. So I wanted to get on here and hear from the folks because I can't defend them on this. I'm able to play devil's advocate regardless of my politics. I can see areas where it makes sense to support Trump or it makes sense to support Biden. But in this one, I can't give an explanation because Trump has said he's done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln, and I'm having a hard time defending it. But I got the clip. I believe this is from when he said it. It's like 3 minutes though. I'll see if it gets to the point. If not, I'll stop it early. But this is President Trump. This did take place June 15th. What is that? Yesterday, June 15th.
It's an honor to be here. It's in a very important area for us.
Terrible volume.
We've done more for, and I say this, I say it proudly, more for the black population than any president since Abraham Lincoln. That's a big statement.
Now I don't know who these three people left are on stage there, but he's flanked by three African Americans who's applauding that. So, I mean, that's at least three of them. In fact, I believe one of them nodded his head. Let me see that again. Looked like he nodded his head in approval.
It's an honor to be here. It's in a very important area for us.
Actually, let me freeze it because they're going to zoom in on it. But if you notice on the table there, I mean, Trump is the only white guy there. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 African Americans up there. Now they zoom in when he says this, so I can't see how the 4 on each end, there's 2 on each end, how they responded. But I believe the one that's going to be on the left side of your screen, I believe that guy in the blue suit actually applied it. Let's see.
For us, we've done more for, and I say this, I say it proudly, more for the black population than any president since Abraham Lincoln. That's a big statement.
Oh shit, they all clapped. They all applauded. Okay, more for, somebody said paid to be there. I see Gigi also said paid. You guys think they were being paid to be there? Fair enough. All right, let me continue on. How much did they get paid? Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys really think they're getting paid, huh? Since Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, that's what he said. Fixed it. Whoa! Whoa! Phil, with the actual jet display, I do want to say thank you sincerely for that. I didn't get the whole name of that, but certainly thank you, Phil Mill Cannon. I think this is thank you very much. We go to the box. More since Abraham Lincoln, and I will bring up obviously Lyndon B. Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Harry Truman, and Barack Obama as comparisons. Because more for blacks since Abraham Lincoln, that's significant. Dencal, one of the subscribers to the show, always give my subscribers preferential treatment. Good afternoon, Dencal.
Good afternoon.
Hey, now you're an African American. More for blacks since Abraham Lincoln. What say you?
I'll use the words of one of your earlier guests and say that's total hyperbole.
Okay.
There's no way anybody can that actually an African American, except for maybe some of the people who were released from the First Step Act, can say something like that. That's just an exaggeration to the fullest extent. To say because he didn't make the HBCUs come back every year, that somehow that was something great for them, which actually they all said that it actually hindered them more than it helped them because it didn't factor in cost of living adjustments.
Wow.
So after HBCU, when everything went sky high, they were still locked into those same consistent amounts. That's when Biden came in and changed all of that because he understood the strain those schools were under, still being stuck getting the same amounts every year. So it actually hurt the HBCUs more than it helped them.
So you're saying that in reality, based on what you're saying, Biden did more for HBCUs than Trump.
Yes, I mean if you look at the amounts, I mean I don't quote me exactly, but the amounts that Biden gave was in the billions, whereas Trump's were in the hundreds
Millions.
of millions.
Huh? Why isn't Biden getting out there and saying this shit?
Because because he's stuck in his ways, his politics as usual. He believes that people, when things really benefit them in their personal lives, that they will vote according to that. He's not out there saying all of the things he's done, and for some reason, I don't know his PR team or whatever, but they're not utilizing his surrogates either to be a
No, you
part of
know
this.
that's crazy. You're right, because I was saying like, why the hell isn't Obama this close to the game, not giving more speeches? I mean, the Clintons. Why isn't Bill Clinton out there holding more rallies? I mean, they had something yesterday with Clooney and Julia Roberts, which are for the younger crowd. They're getting old. I mean, how many folks watched a George Clooney movie recently? I mean, dude's getting old. Like you can't find any younger actors or younger Hollywood elite than Clooney and Julia Roberts. So I
Yeah.
agree with you. The surrogates are lacking. Also, before you continue on, Lisa and Coach Jam stated in the comments, I heard both Spellman and Morehouse said the same thing. So what she's saying is two of the HBCUs publicly stated what you just said. Perhaps they need to run that in an ad.
or hire me as a PR person. I, I'd help him out. I'd help him out. I get the message out of what he has done, and I find it odd that they keep saying that he had the lowest black unemployment in history when we all know. Well, we can all use a quick Google search to find out that Biden surpassed him as the lowest black unemployment rate in history. But there's nobody out there saying that.
Right. So Biden is really hurting with the African American community. If you ask the polls, I mean, do you
He,
think? Go ahead.
he, he is, because a lot of them are low information, and I mean that's not a disrespectful thing. It's that people don't like I've heard you say many times. People just don't go look up that kind of information.
Right. Right.
They want somebody to just tell them what the reality is, which is odd, but that's the way.
Well,
That's
as a politician, you are essentially a salesman. Your job is to sell yourself as the best choice for the voting public. So it's almost like if you're going door to door selling vacuum cleaners, the guy who actually goes and knocks on people's door and promotes his product is going to do a lot better than the salesman who hopes people do their research and find out who the Better Business Bureau ranked as the highest rated vacuum cleaner. The guy who gets to go out and talk. I mean, if you're not selling yourself, what are they saying in the sales world? The doors you do not knock on or the sales you don't make. So if Biden's going to sit back and hope people do their research, it's going to hurt them in November.
um, that's true. And one thing I'll say about that is that what we've become accustomed to, as far as how Trump operates, is not normal for politicians. What Biden is doing is what they normally do. Politicians normally don't run around all over the country while they're sitting presidents and have big rallies,
Yeah.
because they're sitting doing what they normally do. But we've become to Trump saying stuff controversial every single day that we expect the politicians now to act the way he does to counteract what he's doing.
Well,
And
but that is evolution. I agree with you. Trump has changed the game, but he's now winning at it. You can't continue doing what you used to do if you're going to compete with him. He's changed the game.
right. Well, when you got somebody in their 80s, they're pretty much stuck in their ways. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who he's got as his PR person, or the people that's supposed to be helping him in his campaign, but they're failing miserably because they're not utilizing all of the things that Trump is. Trump is using the press, even the press that doesn't like him. He's using them to his advantage.
Yeah.
He's using a small church in Detroit with a fake audience, and he's getting people to
You
actually.
don't know that. How do you know that audience is fake?
Because I'm from Detroit, and I
Oh.
know any church on the west side of Detroit is not going to have the leadership is all black sitting at the table, and when you pan to the audience, the front row is black, and then you look at the congregation behind them, and it's all people, it's all white people back there.
No,
That's not
that ain't gonna be it. That ain't happening in Detroit. I'll accept that. I'll
right.
accept that.
Yeah. He's already been found to have paid people to come to his rallies and stuff, and that's the way he operates. But if people don't understand that, they're gonna look at that audience and say, "Look at them, they clapping. They must agree with him."
Wow.
The
But let
same
me.
way he did it in Atlanta when he had that girl come in there
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A.
and act like they loved him, and people were saying, "Well, wow, the people in Atlanta love him." No, they paid her to come in there and do
Yeah.
it. And the dude, somebody had to tell him because he was about to buy fried chicken, and they told him, "No, just do shakes. Just buy some shakes. Don't do fries."
Hey, that was at a Chick-fil-A, by the way. They don't even sell fried chicken. They sell sandwiches and
He
nuggets.
was gonna buy some chicken, and they said, "No, just do the shakes. Just pass out the shakes."
Well, speaking, I want to give you this comment. It's a little off topic, but it might be considered controversial with you being an African American gentleman. I will give you this coming from YouTube. We're obviously running on both platforms simultaneously. This came from Joseph Paleantonio says, let's talk about black fatherhood or the lack of fatherhood black men. Will have a bunch of kids, won't take care of them, will whine and complain when they have to pay child support. Why do you think that would come up during this discussion?
I mean, it's simple. I mean, you have two educated African American men having a conversation about our society, and somebody that's probably not educated come on here and say something to derail a substantive conversation.
All lives matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Irish slaves?
It's incredible, that Trump, just like somebody said earlier, like Trump has allowed these people to come out and feel like and use statements to feel like they're superior to black people, no matter what the conversation is.
So
That person probably couldn't sit down and have an intelligent conversation with either of us about the realities of America. But they can throw out these little, these sentiments and these little, these things talking about black fatherhood. But if we sit down and have a conversation and we look at the numbers, and at most we look at why these things happen, if we look at root cause.
Well, they're going to bring up President Biden's crime bill that's taking a lot of fathers out the home.
Exactly, but we still have to dig deeper into why that happened.
Yeah.
That happened because they had the support of the black community because they wanted to protect their neighborhoods.
Yep. Yeah.
They wanted to. We asked for that to happen, and when it happened to us, we didn't ask for the results. We asked for the action to be taken. Now they went overboard. When they executed the legislation, they said, "Wow, this gives us the right to do whatever we want to people."
Yeah,
and they did it, and that's why it's so scary when you talk about him talking about giving immunity to police.
And that's one. And before I move on, I will say that's another one. You talk about Biden's poor messaging. Not bringing up that Trump offered to give, well, not offered, but said he's going to give police immunity from prosecution when he's elected. The fact that the liberals or Biden administration is not bringing that up, because defund the police is still being brought up, even though there is nobody in the Democratic Party talking about it. They hammered that message, and it was very successful for Trump, or better yet, the Republican side of the aisle. Trump is on camera saying he wants to give police immunity from prosecution, And the Biden administration has, for the most part, been silent on that.
Right. And what people don't know, and let me try to explain or break down what the immunity he's talking about. Police already have qualified immunity. That is to protect them from personal lawsuits. Like if somebody tries to sue them, they can't sue the officer himself. He's protected.
Okay.
They're talking about complete immunity, which means even if they commit a crime, they can't be held accountable for that crime.
Well, I mean, he didn't really specify it. I mean, he just stated he believes the police need immunity from prosecution because they need to get their powers and respect back. And I'm thinking, like, how does giving police immunity make people respect them more? To me, Biden needs to be playing that, but he didn't. He's not doing it, and I think that's at his detriment. I got to move it on, no Cal. As always, appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good Father's Day for yourself as well. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. He doesn't have to elaborate. We know what he means, says moving mountains. I don't think it's anything good about it. I don't think that the minority community in particular are going to benefit from giving police immunity. I understand some folks may disagree. Very similar to the crime bill. You know, if you allow the crime bill, it'll reduce crime on the streets, and black people in those neighborhoods that are being terrorized will benefit. Well, we look 30 years ahead, and nobody views that as beneficial. I don't believe giving immunity to police, and I certainly disagree with the notion that somehow that's going to make people respect the police. I really think that was wrong. What does slavery have to do with black fatherhood? I guess you guys are discussing that with yourselves. Slavery and black father, wow, that's a hell of a comparison. Trump gain over what you talk trash, not talk. You guys are really going crazy. Trump put Fauci in charge and picked Mike Pence. Great choice, not character for sure. Hey, by the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up to about 35,000, almost 500 of you in here this Sunday afternoon. You could be anywhere you want to be. Good to have you here with yours truly. Trump stating he's done more for African Americans than any other president since Abraham Lincoln. Now, some are saying that's hyperbole or a great exaggeration. Well, to some degree, I guess we'd say, if you say you did something and you didn't do it, it's also being dishonest.
So it's an honor to be here. It's in a very important area for us. We've done more for, and I say it proudly, more for the black population than any president since Abraham Lincoln. That's a big statement.
And by the way, he doesn't sound like he's doing it from a standpoint of hyperbole or exaggeration. He says, I say it proudly. He said it's a big statement. Kind of sounds like he really means that. Listen to the way he frames it before we go back to the box. Listen to the way he actually frames it before getting to the point.
So it's an honor to be here. It's in a very important area for us. We've done more for, and I say it proudly, more for the black population than any president since Abraham Lincoln. That's a big statement.
He means that. That isn't an exaggeration or hyperbole. He means that. I say it proudly. He admitted, it's a big statement. But I say it, he means that. Going back to the box. So I think the way he framed it, in my humble opinion, kind of dispels the notion that he was just trying to exaggerate or use hyperbole. I mean, he admitted it's a big statement. I know, it's something huge to claim, but I'm proud of it. I don't see the exaggeration in that. Let's go to King, team member of the program. It sounds like he truly means that. And somebody say he's an actor. Trump's bastard child. King Finn. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
How we doing?
I'm doing really good as an African American that has benefited from President Trump more than any other president.
Shit.
I take it you disagree?
You right there. Nope.
You take it, I disagree. Hell yeah, I disagree. What did he do? Everybody out here saying, oh my God, Trump did so much, he did so much. What did he do? The First Step Act was not his. He had nothing to do with that. Kim K really vehemently went to him and begged him for that. And then he didn't write it. He just took fucking credit for it.
Is his signature, was his signature required for it to be implemented?
I don't know. I don't know.
If he signed, let me just.
He should be able to sign anything.
Well, let me just say this: if he
damn near he signs bills with Sharpies, Tim. Come on, dog. For real.
Are you sure you're not just hating on the president? Are you sure you're not just hating on him?
I'm not just hating on him. No, I'm not just hating on him. I'm hating on the whole idea that a damn 34 times convicted felon is still out here able to be able to run for presidency. He can't even be on the ballot in 2 different damn states, but we still talking about this idiot walking around campaigning. Are you serious? Let me go commit 34 felonies. Do you think they're going to let me run for president? Hell no. I commit one, they're going to try to give me damn near life. What are we talking about right now?
I'm hearing...
HBCUs?
But I'm hearing... But wait,
come on, man.
But King, I'm hearing that this was a bunch of bullshit that they used as a witch hunt to make this guy into a felon when nobody else would have been treated this way.
That's funny because, I mean, the Democrats said the same thing about Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
But since he's been convicted and found guilty, has Joe Biden stepped in and said, oh, I'm going to pardon my son? Has he did that? No. He said, I'm gonna support Hunter in whatever he's doing. And Hunter said, I'm gonna go on ahead and testify and make sure that y'all go ahead and prosecute me to whatever y'all need to. Because that's what type of person, that's the type of people they are.
Well, let me give you...
We're not running around obstructing justice, making sure we take shits with files that shouldn't even be in there. We're not running around, we're not running around to different countries. Wait, because I know you know about the other cases in Sweden, right? He's running from Sweden right now because they got cases against his ass too for the fraudulent shit he did with the golf course over there.
You're telling me Trump is a wanted man in Sweden?
Hell yeah, there's a case over there for the golf course. He inflated the price of that golf course too. They're filing charges against his ass, so he can't even run to the white nations no more.
I haven't heard this.
Excuse me, one of the people in the comments said it might be Scotland. You might be right. It might be Scotland. But what are we saying here? It's still the same shit. Okay?
But but there's no warrant for his arrest in Scotland, is it?
Man, all I'm telling you is it's another case against his ass. So what are we doing? We're in another country. Okay? Wow. He's over there in another country. He did that shit over there. He came back here and did that shit over there. Matter of fact, besides that, let's go back to the original question I said. How is he gonna win the election when he can't be on the ballot in Florida or New York?
Well, apparently there's no law prohibiting him from running, even with those multiple felonies.
It's freaking insane. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
The whole idea is insane. And for all y'all in the comments, the Republicans in the comments, you conservative simps who don't know what a real conservative is, you might as well call yourself MAGA. Go take a shit, wipe it on your face, and help yourself to a small smoothie milkshaker. Fuck your feelings. How about that? Because you ain't real conservatives. Real conservatives would have buried this orange clown many fucking years ago. If John McCain was still alive, he might would have went PTSD on Trump's ass and took him out the game. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
A conservative?
It's disgusting. It is disgusting for all these Republicans to say, oh, I'm a conservative. I'm a real conservative. No, you're not. You're MAGA. And that's fine. But don't call a dog a cat when it's a damn dog. You are a cat.
A conservative simp. I have never heard
that.
Oh my God.
Yes, a conservative simp. You clowns. These clowns who are out here saying, oh, I'm not MAGA. I'm a conservative. I want to do the right thing.
Hold on. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. Let me make something clear, folks. Because this is in response to a comment from Not Code of Personality that says, yet you allow this shit, Tim. Let me make something clear. Damn it, when we say free speech, when we say uncensored, when we say left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon, you don't think MAGA comes in here and tears the shit out of liberals all the time? That's not free speech. What you're requesting is speech that you favor. I'm going to get MAGA on a program that says all kinds of wild shit about liberals all damn day. Everybody that watches the program regularly has seen that.
Wait. But like the one dude that be talking about Biden's a puppy. One guy be talking about they're all dead.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
I mean, I get guess.
But we have to listen to that
Hold
shit.
on, hang on. I get guess that not only say that Biden is deceased, Hillary Clinton is in Guantanamo, Michelle Obama's a man. I don't censor any of them either. You sound like you want free speech that you agree with.
So take your ass over to the MAGA channel, player.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that, it definitely sounds like when he heard you speak, it triggered something in him where he only wants to hear criticism. That because in my YouTube audience is fairly right, and I let them criticize me and liberals all the damn time. In fact, somebody was just talking about Trump should be supported by African Americans because he dropped the price of chicken. I read it right out. So, free speech is.
Price of chicken. Really? Oh, I guess we should be happy he letting us grow watermelons too, not some.
Listen, I'm just simply saying, you can't ask for free speech and then bitch about it when it don't go your way. That's all I'm saying. King, I gotta move it on though, man. You definitely you hyped up my audience, some good and some bad, but appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Peace.
All right, man. And by the way, folks, when I say the program is always will be MAGA friendly, damn it, I mean that. But I also cannot stress to you how much this is a free speech program. Uncensored. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. We do it all day, every day. If you enjoy civilized dialogue, now some may sound uncivilized to you if you don't like the opinion, but if you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, follow the program. For my TikTok viewers, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. By the way, we run the program Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central, weekdays, 1,300 hours is where you'll find us. I'm very seriously considering expanding to Rumble, so the program may also start appearing live on that platform as well. So Rumble is in the crosshairs. We'll see, but that is what we're looking also. In the comments, Michael Rose says Hitler blamed all German problems on Jewish people. Trump is blaming Americans' problems on immigrants. The question is, who are really immigrants in MAGA's book? That's an intriguing one. That is an intriguing one. Opinions and name calling are not the same, says Michael Sparks. Listen, I understand your point. It is well taken. But at the end of the day, we are discussing politics. A lot of us believe that whether you vote for Trump or whether you vote for Biden, it'll make a significant difference in our lives. Folks are saying that, well, if Biden gets reelected, they're going to have all kinds of awful shit shoved down the throats of their children in schools. Folks are saying if you vote for Trump, you're going to completely erase democracy in this country or ruin the republic, for those who like to term it that way. So fact is, people are going to lob a few names, a few insults. They're pissed off. The voting Americans are pissed off. The voting public is pissed off. Both of these candidates, by the way, Trump and Ms. V, thank you for the shares, definitely for sharing. By the way, folks, share the live. I don't really normally solicit that, but yeah, please share the live. Both of these folks are fairly unpopular candidates. Neither one of these individuals are very popular. So it is what it is. People are going to lob a few names and insults. If you got real thin skin, I'm going to be the first to say this is probably not the platform, not the forum for you to tune into, because we do believe in letting the people speak. Looking in the comments, though, Biden was selling top secret documents while a senator and vice president of the SCIF, his aides and staffers could not get him to give back. Jax, let's say what you're saying is accurate, whereas Biden is that much of a damn criminal. First question I'm going to ask you, you should expect this. Why didn't Trump prosecute him? If he was just like Trump pointed out how treasonous Hillary Clinton was, why didn't he do anything about it? I mean, you expect now for something to happen right before the election? Because Trump was pointing out that these folks were allegedly criminals back in 2015. If they're that bad, why didn't he do anything? So let me know what your answer is. Let's move it on with the program. More for blacks since any president other than Abraham Lincoln. Question: what was said in the Russia meeting? That's another good one, Danny. We don't know. Trump met with Vladimir Putin and took the notes from the interpreter. So we'll never know what was said in the meeting. Same thing with the meeting with Kim Jong-un. Trump received a letter from Kim Jong-un. We don't know what's on it. He never read the details of that either. And I'm only bringing this stuff up because a lot of folks, particularly my beloved MAGA, will tell you how great it was that Trump reached out and met with both Putin and Kim Jong-un. But if you don't have any transcripts from the meeting, how do you know it's great? You don't even know what they discussed. I mean, and you have to ask the question, why would he not want anything known about what they talked about? Why would he? I don't understand why he would keep that quiet either. But looking back, now that Trump has met with both Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, I don't see where there's a whole lot the American public can brag about that America gained by him meeting with those folks, other than he met with them. Okay, yeah, but how did it benefit America? I don't know if we can say anything on it. Professor Mike, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
I'm not gonna take too much of your time.
Sure.
Grandpa Hanson, liberal. I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm assuming you're a father yourself based on the background noise?
I have 5 kids.
Wow, you were a busy father. So the sentiments certainly with you as well. Well, I appreciate you coming on and saying that, man.
Even though we have political differences, I believe today's a special day to recognize all the hard work that, especially guys like you, I know, put on a lot of hard work into their fathering ability. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it. I wish you could get my baby mama to agree with that, but thank you for the compliment, man. Come on back through anytime you want to talk politics as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one. All right, moving the program. That was very kind. Thank you there. Well, I'm white, but I'll say this. I know some things about Trump, but he didn't have top secrets. How do you know? How do you know that Trump was not in possession of anything top secret? The court case has been delayed indefinitely. And I think that most folks, certainly on the MAGA side of the aisle, really don't want that case to come to court. A lot of folks believe it's a witch hunt, believe it's bullshit, or whatever the case may be. But no, I don't think MAGA is interested in hearing the case that the feds want to make. So how do you know whether he was in? The feds are saying he was. He was in possession of top secret documents. So for you as a citizen to say he was not, what is your information? What are you basing your information on? Other than maybe him telling you? What are you basing your information on? Kennan will make sure it never happens. You're talking about Judge Kennan down there. Yeah, it does seem like that judge is not interested in having any type of procession on that case. They've delayed it indefinitely. Some of these people will say anything, can't prove nothing. Well, that one certainly saying that Trump did not have any top secret documents. Yeah, there's no way to prove that. If the feds say he had them, Trump says he didn't, you can take sides, but yeah, you can't prove that. Black Americans, happy Father's Day. Eagle leave red feather grease. Don't know what that means. The statement deserves involuntary psych state. Yikes. Many presidents have had top secret documents in their hands and stored at home. Jeff Johnson, yeah, but he said he didn't have anything top secret. Continuing on with the program, we will go back to the box. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 60,000. Still 500 of you folks in here on this very, very nice Sunday evening. Get your boy likes on up to about 55,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. We'll continue on with the program. More for blacks. Since Abraham Lincoln the one and only Moo, the Tuxedo Cat.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm hearing that we let go of probably one of the best presidents for black people in our lifetime, Trump.
I know, man. It's a tragedy, right? Oh, if only he would have overthrown our government and had Mike Pence throw away those votes, right? If only the fake elector scheme would have worked out. The black community in this country would be in so much of a better position because we all know Trump did massive things to address systemic racism in the police system, which is really the main problem that the black community is facing nowadays, right? Yeah. We all know that Trump did massive efforts to get the water cleaned up in places like Detroit. Right. You know, so Trump gave money to HBCUs, and any president who was presented with that proposal would have done the same. How do I know? Because Biden's given even more money to HBCUs. He's given more money to HBCUs than Trump. Any president who's given that proposal who would turn it down is a ridiculous fool because you're going to lose black votes if you do something like that, right? Yeah. And that's not impressive, right? That doesn't affect the whole community at its core, right? That doesn't fix the housing crisis that the black community is facing. That doesn't fix the systemic racism the black community is facing. That doesn't face the stagnant wages that the black community is facing. That doesn't address the likelihood that a white person will get hired at a business over a black person. So all in all, Donald Trump really didn't do jack shit for anybody, let alone the black community. Donald Trump passed one bill. He passed tax cuts, and it was tax cuts that caused the inflation that they're all bitching about right now. That's what Donald Trump did for the country.
So why is there so many people, Moo, that seem to believe him?
It's not that many people. It's not, again, Donald Trump is getting equal to what the normal Republican, what the average Republican gets from the black community. It's not a lot of people. That's a narrative that MAGA likes to give you because they like to make themselves seem big. They're always lying about crowd sizes. They're always lying about how many votes they got. They're always lying about everything. They gaslight you at every turn, right? They're not getting an extravagant amount of the black vote. No Republican's ever gotten an extravagant amount of the black vote. It hasn't happened in all of history, my man. Wow. It's a false narrative.
So even though you're not black yourself, and I don't know why I got an echo with you, are you on Bluetooth?
No, I'm not on Bluetooth.
Got a serious echo.
No, I just got a new phone too. Got a Google Pixel Pro 8. It's a good phone.
Okay. So why do you think, even though you're not African American, why do you believe blacks do not tend to vote Republican?
Because the Republican Party uses black people to further the white agenda, right? They like to recruit black people who like to be adjacent to whiteness. Right? Black people who like to be surrounded by whiteness. And then they use those black people to influence their community towards the white supremacist agenda. And that's the Southern strategy. I believe Nixon came up with that.
Damn. Adjacent to white people.
Yeah. Adjacent to whiteness. Yes.
Would it be safe to assume you would consider Tim Scott in that category?
Yeah, Tim Scott is adjacent to gayness and adjacent to whiteness, right? He's dual adjacent, right? He's dual adjacent. He's adjacent to the closet and he's adjacent to white people, right?
What makes you think Tim Scott is gay?
He bought a wife, right? Like he bought a wife. Normal people don't do that, my man. Like the dude had no wife and then all of a sudden he's got like a receipt with him and a pretty white lady. It's so funny, man, right? Like just like Ice Cube, man. In fact, Cat Williams was saying some shit like that's like standard when you become like a famous black person. Yeah. They give you like a white wife is what Cat Williams was saying. It was pretty funny.
Oh, God. I didn't expect you to come here and do that. so you do believe that. He
also said Puff Daddy likes to party. So you got to tell him no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that. I wouldn't seen him. I wouldn't seen Cat Williams live in April.
Let me tell you an interesting fact, though, man. Because I heard some idiot you had on here the other day talking about the Russian ships in Cuba, man. Did you know in 2020 that there was a Russian submarine and a Russian frigate parked in Havana, and Donald Trump didn't do shit about it? That's a fact, man.
Didn't hear nothing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go look it up. The BBC just released an article on it to compare the two situations. Donald Trump didn't do jack shit about the two boats. that were parked 90 miles off the coast of Florida in 2020 when he was president. So again, it's all MAGA bullshit. It's all nonsense, right? They come up with all these fucking stories all the time without knowing everything that's ever gone on. And they try to gaslight people who don't know any better, right? And then they're like, oh man, look at Joe Biden. He's being weak. Donald Trump didn't do shit about the ships in Cuba either, my dudes. So don't fucking worry about it, right?
Well, Trump is more friendly to the echo disappeared, by the way. Trump is more friendly to Putin to begin with. So I mean, what would he be expected to do?
Well, I mean, right, I don't expect him to do anything because you're going to have Russian ships go down there because Cuba and Russians are friendly. So I don't expect anybody to do anything about it because it's not a threat. What I'm saying is they do this all the time. Right. And nobody does shit about it. But apparently MAGA wants to use it as some kind of talking point against Joe Biden because they're fucking stupid.
Well, Miss V says that those ships are there to pick up Trump. So that's what's in the comments.
They might be there to pick up Trump. That's very possible, right?
Have you heard anything about Trump having cases in Scotland?
Cases in Scotland? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, right? He's probably done dirty business practices over there too, because he has a golf course over there, right? So everywhere Trump goes, he commits some kind of crime. He has never committed crime within his businesses, within any of his dealings. He's always been doing crimes the whole time he's been alive. Okay.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
He could be our next president, Moo. I mean,
he was already our president once. Okay, so yeah, what do you want me to do, right? You have a bunch of morons in this country who enjoy a white supremacist helping them get their agenda done, and they're gonna vote for him no matter what he says, my dude, right? We had people in here the other day telling me that an AR isn't a fully automatic weapon, even after you put a bump stock on it, right? And the thing can fire like 1,000 rounds like every 2 minutes or something like that, I think. And you watch videos of it on TV, the weapon becomes fully automatic, my dude. And their sad argument is, oh, well, you can still only fire one bullet at a time. These people are just you can't have arguments with these people. You can't have good faith debates with these people. They come on here and say things like, I need to have access to any weapon the army has access to, which is not what the fucking Second Amendment says, okay?
Well, let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. When the Second Amendment was created, the weapons that the army had in their possession were what? Muzzle loaders, maybe a hand-cranked Gatling gun.
Even that doesn't, I mean, yeah, that's true, man, but still, dude, you know, it doesn't say that. It says in order to have a militia, you need to be able to have some weapons. That's basically what it says. It doesn't entitle you to every weapon that the army has access to. You know, again, these people still talk about, oh, you know, I got to be able to fight against the government, man. Yeah, okay, my dude. They're not going to come anywhere near you. They're going to bomb you from 10 miles off the coast. Yeah. They'll have a missile land in your eyeball from 10 miles away. And you'll be sitting there with your silly little AR and your bump stock. Won't even be able to wonder what happened because you'll be unalived in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do. I said that to a caller that was on Friday that said something similar about being able to defend themselves against government tyranny. And I said
Donald Trump is the one who banned the bump stock. Donald Trump banned that bump stock. It was his policy that banned those items anyway. And then he's the one that said, hey, make sure you take their weapons and then have due process. But they don't care, my dude, right? Because they have no principles. They have no core. They just do whatever this idiot tells them, and then they move along.
So you are painting a picture of a cult.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is, man. Listen, no matter what these fools try to say about liberals, right? Their whole agenda is to try and make liberals cry. Right? They try to make liberals cry by attacking the president's son. Nobody gives a shit about Hunter Biden, my dude.
Facts.
All you're doing is wasting your time showing dick pics in Congress and reading gay sex novels, right? Instead of legislating. That's what people see you doing, okay? Nobody gives a shit about Hunter Biden. You guys have wasted everyone's fucking time.
Yeah, I gotta move it on, but I agree with you 100%. Nobody cares about Hunter Biden being prosecuted on the left. Yeah. No one.
No, it's a straight up cult, man. And these people are going to look real stupid in a couple hundred years when people look back at these morons and what they did. They're just gonna be like, why was everybody so damn dumb? And hopefully someone will be like, man, it was just this group of people. They were morons. They followed a white supremacist. And, you know, eventually we got past it.
Damn. Hopefully, what you're saying is correct, but we're moving on. Appreciate it, Moon. Thank you for coming through. You too. I will say this because a few folks brought up Hunter Biden's laptop. Is the information on it valid? My guess is probably so, but the way it was obtained is what I have an issue with. Let's say you take your laptop to, let's say, Best Buy. They service laptops. I've had a number of them serviced there. I've had a contract on most of the laptops I've purchased with Best Buy because you can pretty much run it over with a car and they'll fix it within the time of your contract. And they have the individual, the entity or the corporation you use to service your computer. You have a contract. If you don't pay the cost of the servicing, you sacrifice or forfeit your equipment. This is what happened to Hunter Biden. He took his laptop in, obviously cracked out of his mind, you know the way the guy was, and he ended up not paying the bill to get his device back. Thereby, according to the contract of the servicing or the service provider, he forfeited his laptop. Somehow, some way, Fox News purchased the laptop. So obviously that means the servicer of the laptop clearly knew who owned it and knew the value of it to get it over to Giuliani, and because Rudolph Giuliani was involved in this as well. They purchased a laptop and clearly went through the information on the laptop. And that's why they came up with this 10% to the big guy and a lot of this other stuff. In my opinion, that's worthy of looking into. If Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were involved in some serious felonies. What I don't agree with is giving nude selfies of Hunter Biden to the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene to show them on the congressional House floor. I don't see how anybody on the right thinks that that is okay. Even though, let's say, Hunter Biden's surely lost possession of his laptop. Okay? And I agree. Let me just interrupt by saying what Furback says is 100% correct in my opinion. And I'm sure MAGA would agree with it as well. Chain of custody alone makes this case weak. I could not agree with that anymore. If someone from the Trump camp, Giuliani, Sidney Powell, or maybe Trump himself, had a diary or a laptop or a phone, and you found out that it was purchased by Al Sharpton or MSNBC or Rachel Maddow, and that's how the information came out, I do believe what Furback said, the chain of custody argument. MAGA would be saying, well, look who had it. I don't believe any damn thing coming from the lips of Rachel Maddow. That's exactly what happened. Is the laptop went from the service provider right into the possession of right-wing operatives like Giuliani, Fox News. So, obvious question everybody's going to ask is, how do we know that some of this shit that's on here, they didn't put in themselves? How do we know? So I do believe the chain of custody argument is pretty damn strong. X-Cat says, Tim, if the Department of Justice had dirt on President Biden, don't you believe they would be talking about it? Yeah, I do. But I know the MAGA side is going to say that they are working for Biden and they wouldn't do anything about it. So if the Department of Justice had something incriminating on President Biden because they favor Biden over Trump, they would keep it secret, which makes no sense considering they just prosecuted his son. But I know a lot of MAGA is going to say that. Hunter Biden is not a government employee. He's a private citizen. Trump's kids were in the government and got billions from China. There is some fact to that. But it sounds like, according to what's on the laptop, if you believe it, Hunter Biden was doing what he was doing with the blessing and potential cooperation of his dad. But as Furback said in the comments, the chain of custody really, really makes it suspicious. I don't think MAGA's going to believe or accept any damn thing coming from CNN or MSNBC. But we're supposed to accept something coming from Fox News and Giuliani on the laptop. It's very similar to the movie 2000 Mules. The movie was created by a guy that Trump pardoned. If we had a movie showing that Biden won the election, but it was created by Michelle Obama, would you buy it? That is fact. So, I mean, it is a lot to take in. Anyhow, going back to the box, I wouldn't believe anything a Trump supporter says. Nothing at all. Even if they said it's going to rain tomorrow, I mean, that could be Trump derangers. And I don't know. That's pretty strong. Going back to the box, and somebody said, stop spamming. If I do see the spamming, that is one of the very few things. We don't block, ban, or censor, but if we see that, we will spam you. So don't type in the same thing over and over again. For instance, don't do that. We will have to take you off the program. Going to the box, we'll continue on with, I don't know what that says, but we'll just go straight to it. It says cross something there. Team member, wow, this is a joke. I'm out, says Bubba J. By the way, before you drop out of the program and listen, I can't control folks who hear things that they don't like, but it is a free speech forum. State your case. If some shit is being said wrong, I'm willing to concede the point. I never come across as knowing it all or think, look, you're going to have guests that are far left, far right, somewhere in the middle. But to simply say it's a joke, I'm out, really adds nothing. Cross, what does that say? Cross stitch? Cross, are you there? Okay, got a guest that came in, and apparently they're not by the device. We'll keep moving, though. Trump to save our country and our lives, period. You believe that came from Veronica Lund. By the way, shout out to all my female Republicans. I say it every show. I give a shout out particularly to female MAGA because a lot of folks believe that women are automatically going to go liberal because of the abortion issues, but we got a lot of female Republicans and female MAGA. Veronica says, Trump to save our country and our lives. You believe that if Biden is reelected, your life is in jeopardy? State in the comments how and why you believe that. Our lives? Wow. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. Donald Trump, move. That is true. That is an actual quote from Trump. That man couldn't even save his businesses. How is he going to save our country? Well, he is a wealthy man. We'll just leave it at that. Going back to the box, I don't know what happened with my last guest, but we'll continue on with Dudu Zazi. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. More for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln.
Good afternoon, Uncle. How are you?
I'm doing good. How do you pronounce that name?
That's Dudu Zazi.
Okay. All right.
It's an original French name, means a sweet kid. That's all.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
I hear an accent. Elaborate. Explain that.
Yes, I'm originally from West Africa, and I've been in the United States for the last 8 years, and I've been observing, the whole political situation. And when it comes to the question of the day, I might just say this: Trump is a liar, he's a scammer, he's a con artist, and it's just sad that people are just blindly following him and listening to everything he's saying, and some are believing.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you've only been in the country for 8 years, so that would be what, 2016?
Yeah, around that time.
So you were here all of Trump's term, and you've been here all of Biden's. So what makes you say that? You said some pretty horrible things about Trump. Where's that coming from? What makes you say that?
I say that because he's just a horrible human being. That's what I think.
Damn. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think he's a horrible human being?
Okay. For example, the type of stuff that come out of his mouth, that makes me not even, wanting to listen to him. He talk like a fifth grader, which is disgusting. I understand and respect. And the saddest part is,
what is Trump? Wait. What has Trump said that is that you would say is horrible, like a fifth grader? What have you heard him say that's that bad?
For example, all the name calling, that's very responsible. He got a name for every opponent of his.
Yeah.
What is that? That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, but you made it sound like the guy is like the worst thing. I mean, a horrible human being. You think the name calling makes him come off as that bad?
Yeah, I don't like it. Especially being somebody who's been in the White House, in the office, and you still running. Like a lot of people are looking at you. The stuff you're saying. Like, what are you uh, transmitting as values? I just think he's dry when it comes to that. Trump, he he's not running for you, for me, for anybody else. Trump is running for his own self to save his own self, and we all know that because his whole life he's been committing crimes after crimes. He's been getting away with it. Of course, he jumped into the White House, which gives him some type of immunity. Even right now, him being convicted felon, he still can go back there. He will never know what is being behind bars. That's for sure.
Let me
Yes,
say this. You mentioned the name calling a moment ago. Jeff Huggins in the comments states that he hits back. In other words, people have been attacking Trump constantly. So the name calling is him, defending himself.
No. It's not in all cases. He's very good at hitting back. That's for sure. But it's not like every time he name called, or because he's going on attack or defending himself. No, he's just good at it. He do it differently. You don't need to do anything to him for him to come after you. He just don't stand nobody having a different opinion than his, which is very weird for him. He can't stand that. He don't like anybody thinking differently than him. Now, when it comes to, Trump has done for black people more than any other sitting president, that's one of the biggest lies that comes out of his mouth.
Well, wait a minute, but if you're only in the country for 8 years, can you really speak on that, though?
Excuse me, yeah, I can. The time that I spent in this country should not matter because before I came here, I was a very curious kid. I've spent all my time learning about stuff, understanding stuff.
Okay.
So before even I was in this country, there are some stuff that I knew already how it was going. So the amount of time I've spent in this country should not matter. As I said, like, I've observed a lot of things, I've learned about stuff, I've read a lot of stuff just to understand how it goes. As him saying, he have done for black people more than any other sitting president, that's just one of the biggest lies that come out of his mouth.
Wow.
But again, I understand it's the politics, and compared to the Democrats, that's what they're missing too. They just and coming out there and speaking out loud about the good stuff they're doing, and that's just something that Trump is beating them on. And they need to step out and just say, "Hey, we've done this, we've done that, we're doing it." They need to be loud about it. But
Now, are you able to vote in our elections?
no, I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
Till I become citizen, I cannot vote. But still, being able to vote or not, at the end of the day, me living on United States soil, any decision taken by a politician will affect my life on a daily basis.
No.
So that's why, I'm very interested into whatever is
What
going
what
on.
country did you say you came from?
Oh, okay, so it's a West Africa to start with. That's the part. It's one of the smallest. The name is Burkina Faso, Burkina. Faso is FASO. It's a country that's becoming very interesting nowadays. It's in West Africa, which you can take a look on it. We have one of the youngest president on earth who is doing some very amazing job, and he's sending a very strong message to the Western world, and I stand with him.
All right, fair enough. Well, come on back through here anytime, Dudu Azizi. You said Dudu Zazi, right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes, sir.
good
Yeah, I
talk.
appreciate you. Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
your time.
Always good to have somebody with a different perspective. Always welcome back. I'd vote for Chat Black MAGA here. I'd vote. Oh, I'd love to chat Black MAGA here. Okay, I didn't see what that said there for a moment there, but We can make that happen. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get your boy likes on up to about 70,000. This abbreviated live on Sunday afternoon. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 70,000. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button on YouTube. Folks, a subscription or a follow, if you will, if you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you for your opinion, because we don't do that here. We believe in free speech. Monday through Friday, 1,300 hours is when you generally can find us, 1 p.m. Central. Britty, you're Black MAGA, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, more for African Americans than anyone since Abraham Lincoln. What say you?
I agree. It's simple. You can look at his accomplishments, the Platinum Plan, and everything moving forward. What he did for HBCUs. HBCUs were having to come back and ask for more money. And he said, y'all shouldn't have to do this. I'm going to set y'all up so you don't have to continue to ask for more money. The list goes on. Really, you just have to look up the Platinum Plan and look into what he has for them.
Okay, you're the first. It's good to have you on. You're the first person, because I've had MAGA on the program as well, and you're the first to actually come out and say it's actually valid. I want to ask you right off the bat, with Lyndon B. Johnson, the nation's 36th president, granting civil rights to blacks and the Voting Rights Act, you believe Trump has superseded that?
Yeah, I mean, he's done stuff for criminal justice as well. I don't know if people remember, but there's a lot of people who were incarcerated for nonviolent offenses for long terms. He let out, and Kim Kardashian actually got some exposure because of this. She helped spearhead some of this, but he let out hundreds, if not thousands, of men, black men, who were incarcerated.
And you believe that's more beneficial to blacks than giving them civil rights?
No, not necessarily, but I'm just speaking about some other things that he had done for the community, wanting to bring back businesses to their communities, focusing on crime. I mean, there's a lot that he has in store. A lot he hasn't been able to do yet either, because.
Well, we're not gonna give him credit proactive. We're talking about what he actually has done. We're talking giving blacks civil rights and the right to vote. You're telling me Trump's accomplishments is greater than that?
No. I won't say that. I mean, everyone has the right to vote.
No, he is saying that. You won't say it, but he is saying he's done more for any president, more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln. Lyndon B. Johnson gave blacks civil rights. You think he done more for blacks than Lyndon B. Johnson?
I mean, we're talking about one specific
civil rights.
Area.
Civil rights.
The civil rights. I mean, maybe it's out of context, and this is not an area that I'm well versed in. I'm well versed in understanding where our country was. In 1871. Before that, we were a republic. After 1871, we became a corporation. I understand the history of our country. I'm not necessarily well versed in specific, like the specific area that you're speaking. So if people want to know stuff like the plans he had, look up the Platinum Plan. I mean, people will be, really? The Platinum Plan? Yeah, look it up, really. I mean, let's speak wholeheartedly about the plans that he had for Black America. Now, whether or not that's better or more, I mean, we can't speak to that because we're talking about today. What are the issues plaguing Black America today, and what are his plans for it? What are some things that he's actually said he was going to do?
But you're talking about today, Britty. He said so he's talking about throughout United States history. Now, the things you're pointing out, Platinum Plan, HBCUs, and things like that. When Lyndon B. Johnson gave African American civil rights, that affected every single black person in the country. HBCUs does not affect. I don't think giving money to HBCUs even affects 10% of Black Americans. I mean, the number that are affected by that is very low. So I don't see how you can agree with this.
Well, I think he's done a lot for Black America.
That sounds a lot better. That sounds better.
Yeah, I do agree that having civil rights that affects every Black American is
Yeah.
good. I think where we're at now in regards to other things, we're not in an era where we're faced with the same issues. As a Black American woman, I'm not faced with the problems that our ancestors and people, decades ago had to deal with. Where, I'm more focused on where we're at now, how we learn, how we even got to this point. Because a lot of people, we've been indoctrinated, propagandized, and lied to for many, 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 many decades.
I don't, but based on what you're saying, when Trump says he's done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln, based on your response, you said we've been lied to for decades. It sounds like you're admitting he's lying to us now. And by the way, muggles are cool too. Get the pedal out of here, you guys. God, thank you for the super chat though. It sounds like what you're suggesting is he's not being honest with us right now.
Maybe it's a comment that's not one entirely in touch. I mean, I don't hang on every word he says.
Okay.
Okay. The man is. This man is tireless in everything that he does, and I think I don't like to spend my energy getting tied up on certain things. Now, do I think that might be a misrepresentation? Yes, but I do think that he has made certain things a priority and has actually shown that when he speaks on it, he means it. And I think that's something worth saying. Now, do I think he's anyone's savior? No, but I do think that people aren't seeing that he understands what's going on in America. He sees that our republic is at stake. People always say democracy, democracy. Our republic is at stake.
Do you now, in regards to our republic being at stake, he has stated that if he is elected, he intends to give police immunity from prosecution. Do you believe that would be good for the republic?
I think that's a blanket statement. I think that's a layer. There's definitely layers that would have to be addressed. So I can't speak on that.
Well, he states that he states
agree with a blanket statement.
Okay, let me ask you. He states that by giving police immunity from prosecution, it would help give them their powers and their respect back. Do you believe, at least from the respect aspect, because that's not really a blanket statement, do you believe that the American populace will respect law enforcement more if they had immunity from prosecution?
Again, I can't answer that because I have to see. I think there are some situations where they should be held accountable. And so I do believe there needs to be more training. I should not know more about my rights than the police officer. And so that's a problem. So I think all of that would have to be addressed. And I do think it would be well thought out. I think it's a high level statement that he's putting out there. Because of the disrespect that these agencies and the twisting and turning of certain situations that has happened. So I'm not taking it as just, he's just going to get there and he's just going to offer this. No, there's going to be more to what happens there.
Well, there's no way to know. You're kind of speculating. But before I move it on, I want to ask you this. This is coming from a friend of the program. Holiday on YouTube says she called America a corporation, not a democracy. Shake my head. So when you say America's a corporation, I want you to elaborate on that.
Go back to 1871.
Didn't you just say we're speaking in modern times, not back in the day?
I'm sorry?
When I brought up Trump saying he done more for us than any president since Abraham Lincoln, you said we're not talking about way back then, we're talking about right now. Now you're taking us back to 18...
what you just asked me about the republic, to understand versus where when we became a corporation. To understand that, you have to go back to 1871 when we became a corporation.
And what makes you say in it? What happened in 1871 to make us become a corporation?
Look, people will have to do their own research to see what happened. So a lot happened to the Rockefeller. You can call it the Rockefeller effect, whatnot. There was a changing of hands. There was a changing of power. Shortly after that, Big Pharma came into place. Our education system, as we know it, institutionalized education, all of that started to roll. The central banking system All of that came about. So once you understand that, you can start to piece together a lot of what has happened since. It's been a slow rolling process to get to where we're at today.
Let me ask you a couple questions that are a bit off topic, but because I've spoken to a few other people who says things similar to you, I just want to make sure. Do you believe currently Hillary Clinton is alive and well?
I don't know.
So she may not be alive.
She may not be.
Do you believe President Biden is alive as we speak?
I definitely question who the Biden on the screen is.
Okay. So you believe that that person we see on screen may not be him?
I do believe there's a lot of actors out there that we cannot take what we see at face value. We have to question everything.
An actor on screen. So any idea why Trump continues to accuse him of everything if he may not be around?
Is there repeat your question, I'm sorry.
If you're not for sure that the guy we see on screen, the one who's falling and cannot get his words together right, if that is not Biden, how do you respond to Trump accusing that actor on screen that everything he does, falling, tripping, not getting his word? How do you respond to Trump actually suggesting that is Biden?
So I'm going to quote something to indirectly answer your question.
Sure.
If y'all look up how Trump, when he had his meeting with all of the top generals in our country, and he quoted, "This is the calm before the storm." Get all the top generals of our country. You can look it up on YouTube. Trump speaks on calm before the storm. There's more to this than we understand. I'm not saying he's some mastermind behind something, but if you understand the executive orders that are still in place, that Executive Order 13848, there's others. Derek Johnson, he's on Rumble. He does a great job going into explaining executive orders, what they mean. All of his information is cited at the documents.info for anybody looking for .gov, .mil, .gov sites to source anything. But there's more going on than meets the eye. I do believe there is a military mission going on behind the scenes. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, I sought the truth many, many years ago based on credible information and trying to piece things together for myself. But there's something to that. He had all of these generals, the calm before the storm. I do believe that there's something going on, and I do believe that he's playing part in this movie because the American people have been propagandized and don't realize what is going on.
So let me ask you this question. Who do you believe right now as we speak, who do you believe or what entity do you believe is in control of this nation?
I believe the military is in control right now, and we're watching a what is it called? Sorry guys, it slipped my mind.
Take your time.
A military occupation. I don't know the name.
Who controls the military?
Who controls the military?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I believe Trump is still calling the shots.
Okay. So basically, Trump is the president of the nation right now as we speak.
He is the commander in chief.
Okay. Is Nancy Pelosi, is she still alive and well?
I can't confirm that. I haven't seen it with my own two eyes. Do I believe there are people? Do I believe there will be military tribunals? Yes. Do I believe it's possible that there have already been military tribunals? Yes. Do I believe it's yet to be exposed to the mass populace? Yes, because we're not there yet. No, enough people are not awake yet to be able to handle that. We will get there, and I do firmly believe we need to be careful, and we need to be vigilant, and we need to possibly have extra water, have extra food in case something were to happen, because we have had open borders. We possibly do have sleeper cells within our country, and there's a lot that is possible that can happen as a result of what we've witnessed.
Where do you believe the 44th president, Barack Hussein Obama, where do you believe he was born?
Africa.
Wow.
And I do believe that he was our first gay president, and that's a shame because our LGBTQ community I mean, I think that could have been great for them. And the fact that he wasn't open and honest about it, but that's a whole nother subject. You know, I do believe he was the first one to really start this plan, and Trump honestly interrupted the plan. They didn't predict and plan for him to win by so much, and Hillary was supposed to be the continuation of Obama's plan.
Last question. When you mentioned Obama, you believe he's the first gay president. His wife obviously is a member of the opposite sex, or am I getting it wrong? What do you, Michelle Obama, do you believe, now her stated gender is female, do you believe that is valid?
No comment.
So you can say yes or no.
We're all entitled to our opinions.
Yeah. But you would, well, come on, Britt, you wouldn't be on here if you didn't have an opinion. I mean, that's the reason he brought you here.
I do not think she is who she presents to be. I'll just leave that there.
When you say you do not think she is who she presents herself, are you talking about gender?
Yes.
Okay.
I do believe she is transgender.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that would make Obama the first LGBT president. That would fall in line with what you said. All right, Brittany, as always, you're welcome on the program anytime. I do have to move it on. Very interesting conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you as well. Appreciate you coming through. All right, continuing on. Wow. Just wanted to give you, see the comments, post Mogul says, stop, bro. When I say we're for free speech, folks, this is how it works. You're going to hear opinions you disagree with. That's how it works. That's when I get Moo or somebody on the left or on the right goes ape shit. Well, she leans right. When we say you're entitled to your opinion, damn it, we mean it. That's how free speech works. But not all speech is protected. I don't think anything she said would be a violation of the First Amendment, though. So, some people say it's crazy, it's weird. Listen, I don't agree with anything she just stated, but she has the right to her opinion. Nevertheless, we will ask that you tap the screen, get the likes on up to 70,000. It is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Tim, it's a full moon. The first black president was John Jay of the 13 colonies, and he voted. Also, your Democratic leaders in the corporation have disenfranchised you so much you don't know what's true. Wow. We can talk about it. Anyhow, folks, just want to run something by you real quick. I am considering adding, we do simultaneously on YouTube and TikTok. By the way, follow the program or subscribe if you will. We are considering adding Rumble to the mix. So we are certainly considering adding Rumble as a third platform. My audience tends to be more right, and I don't mind that at all, but we are interested in adding Rumble. So we may eventually end up there. But nevertheless, it is Father's Day. Got a few duties I have to pertain to. I will see you guys, as always, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. Follow the program if you will. Until then, I do have to step away, unfortunately. Catch you later. Same on YouTube. What does I say real quick in the box? Bro, Rumble is for people who want to tell the truth, not lie. Then, damn it, on Rumble, that's what you will be allowed to do. You can come on the program and tell us the truth all damn day. Correct everybody in there that's getting it wrong. What do we say about free speech? It's invited on the program all the time. So if the guest, the host, or anybody else is getting it wrong, that's where we'll go to find the truth. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Catch you tomorrow.